I'm feeling like rambling today. It's raining outside. I'm at home, clearly, and I want to talk about the most important lessons that I've learned 2.5 years backpacking the world. It's felt like a whirlwind. It has swept me off my feet. It is one of the loves of my life, solo backpacking, and I truly believe that 2.5 years later, I'm a completely different person, and that's such a cliche to say, honestly. A little rundown if you're new here. My name is Em, and I'm a full-time solo backpacker. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an artist, I'm a writer. I'm basically a jack of all trades. I've been solo backpacking for the past 2.5 years, and I left college. I have stepped into a completely different version of myself, different life. I help people change their lives through my own experience. What I do is I leave for 6-7 months, it depends, and then I come home. Then I repack my bags and I leave again. And so the big chapter that you're about to see me step into is I'm about to leave for a year instead of like half a year, and that's gonna be a big deal for me because I'm very in tune with like what I need and like for my growth and stuff, and I do think I need to leave for a year to really shift my perspective and challenge myself and grow in a new way. I'm gonna be leaving in 1 month, and that's going to start my journey over in Europe. So yeah, today I've written down some just notes and some things that I have learned. I just finished 5 months in Latin America. The last 5 months were probably the most amount of growth that I've ever made solo backpacking. And I think a lot of travelers can understand after the trip ends is when you are able to make those reflections and see what changed and what didn't. The first lesson that prominently stood out to me is the lesson will repeat itself until it is learned. I have seen repeating people come into my life, repeating challenges, repeating obstacles, moments that have looked very different but felt exactly the same because I chose not to grow. Change is inevitable. Like, we're gonna go through periods where we look back and everything is completely different, but the huge difference that we have to make is that growth is a choice. I believe that the first year of me backpacking was slightly, almost unconsciously, I was kind of going through it with the mindset that I was running away from something. And I was running away from a lot. I was running away from big life decisions. I was running away from my parents and a lot of things that were happening at home. And I was escaping the path that I had originally built for myself, which was going to be college, career, retirement, which that's totally valid. That's not a bad thing, and there's quite a few backpackers that also choose to do that for the same reason. But the next following year, I realized that there was something that was kind of stunting my growth. The first year of me backpacking, I did face a lot of hardships and a lot of sadness, a lot of leaving people, a lot of like hard hitters, and then I realized that this is a part of the journey. I kind of found a level of surrendering in that. And that's what's gotten me to the point that I'm at today is I go at it with a lot of gratitude, a lot of acceptance. I've surrendered to the fact that a lot of things, even like I've surrendered to when I come home and like everything stays the same. That used to make me so angry. I'd get home and I see my parents, I see my siblings, I see my friends, and I'm like, nothing has changed. Everything is the same in my hometown. I feel completely different, and why does no one understand me? Obviously, everyone chooses differently. I've come to realize that, this is my journey, right? This is internal. This is what I'm experiencing, and I've actually walked back into their life. When you decide that life is coming at you and things are just happening and you're just there, that is when you're not accepting that there is a different player involved. There is you, and you are able to choose differently. When I don't consciously choose myself, the cycle will repeat. It will repeat. And it has over and over, and especially in relationships for me, and I'm sure this has happened to a lot of people as well. You will meet someone new, exciting, completely different. Later on in the relationship or whatever plays out for you guys, there's very similar patterns that start to show up. And this does not just have to do with relationships. It could deal with so many other things. But the last few months of me backpacking, I was in like very intense relationships and navigating a lot of like heavy emotions, things that I haven't faced in many, many years. And that's why, I mean, that's part of the reason I'm making this video, is to be very vulnerable and just say like, backpacking has brought things to me that are not just about travel and like seeing the world and like experiencing new places. It's like, actually, this is growth. This is like a learning opportunity. This is unlearning things about yourself. This is learning. I will never glamorize that journey to people on social media, because I want to show that this is a lot deeper than just, oh, I've just arrived in a new city and I'm, it's completely different. I believe the way of stopping the cycle is to bring awareness to it, to name it, to write it down, to make it very clear to yourself that something's happening here, something that you don't like, it's something that you're not comfortable with, it's something that you don't want to see happen again. When you bring awareness to that, that is when you have the choice, and that is when you can choose growth. So something I want to say is, not everyone is going to understand this lifestyle. For a lot of beginner backpackers or travelers, I do think that that's very hard to accept, right? Because you want to see validation from people. You want someone to pat you on the back and like tell you that you're doing a good job. You want to see people like smiling for you and being happy for you. And for me, especially the first year of me traveling, that was the complete opposite. And even though on social media, you see the fluctuation of like so many other backpackers and travelers now, and that makes me so happy, but at the same time, I don't believe that this is for everyone. And that's another lesson, is this lifestyle is not for everyone, especially what I do the long-term backpacking. That this has become my lifestyle, and I would not give this to everyone. Of course I would not give this to everyone, because not everyone wants this. And that's where the real mirror came in, is when, I was getting judgment for what I was doing. I was judging other people for what they were doing. And I wanted people to see, like, that's not your only path, that's not the only answer, but the truth is everyone has their own path, right? And so when I see things on social media, which I used to post them too, I did write a Substack article about this. If you like to read and want to hear like my thoughts and opinions and personal stories, I definitely recommend my Substack. You see people post about everyone quit their jobs and start this lifestyle and like see what happens, just take the first, take the leap and everything. And that's a very privileged way of seeing things. I'm extremely privileged that I get to do this and I get to work online. This level of comfort of me backpacking and knowing that I'm going to be okay with like financially and stuff. I do have to say I don't post that stuff anymore when it comes down to it, because not everyone can have this lifestyle. So sometimes the leap will give you the answer. And I have a problem with this still. So sometimes you just have to make the decision and see what happens. And I'm an overthinker, obviously, and I have stayed many days, weeks, months deciding if I should do something, going back and forth. Should I stay with this person? Should I take this trip? Should I go with this? Like, I've spent a lot of time doing that. Everyone has their own relation to that, but also just like going with what matters to you. Like, it mattered to me 2.5 years ago when I decided to go backpacking, right? It mattered to me. That's how I knew that I was going to take the leap. I didn't feel ready at all. I actually felt terrified. I felt scared. I felt lost. I felt like I had no purpose. Suddenly, I took the leap and everything seemed to unfold perfectly. Every step of the way. Every person that came into my life, whether they were good or not so good, every opportunity that came in my life, if it worked out or not, and everything started to make sense. And my purpose was found. I don't want to go off and say like, oh, backpacking, you'll find your purpose, but you're going to get pretty close to it, I think. If you do it and you're open, your heart is open, you feel ready to grow. If you feel ready to grow in this, you're going to find your purpose. This is a newer one for me, and it's been something that I've just been pondering lately. I don't believe in wrong person, right time, wrong person, wait, how do I even say it? Wrong person, right time, or right person, wrong time. Like, I don't believe in that. And some people do, and I'm like, I see your point. I understand that. I believe that obviously everything happens for a reason, okay? But also I believe that these events and people that come into your life are supposed to happen. They're supposed to happen. And if that person is meant to come back into your life, that's supposed to happen. I just don't believe there's any wrong in that. There's no mistake. There's no coincidence and there's no mistake. So if you meet someone, and this is another thing too, if you meet someone, that person is a miracle. If and when you meet someone, that person is a miracle. That person is a miracle because, again, I always say this, there's 8 billion people in the world. There's 8 billion people in the world. And you're telling me I got to talk to this person on the street for 5 minutes and there's 8 billion people in the world? How is that a coincidence? That does not exist in my mind. 8 billion people. And someone messaged me on Instagram and we got to go hang out and get coffee for the day. And you're telling me that that's not a miracle, that we're crossing paths? So everyone that comes into my life is a miracle, right? However, whether that person brings so much love and care and compassion into your life, whether that person teaches you hard lessons that you needed to learn and grow from, it was all a miracle to me. And I could get emotional about that, but truly I do believe that there are no mistakes when you cross paths with someone. And especially in solo backpacking, you see that come into fruition, right? Because I'm crossing paths with people that I'm like, I would have never met you. Oh, where was I? Oh, when we were in San Jose, Costa Rica, I was with some people from my group trip, and like we were all just walking, and I just looked around and I was just like, I would have never known these people ever. Like, everyone's from different places, different cities, and like I remember just kind of having that moment with myself, and I think I told them too, but it was just like, we crossed paths, and that would have never happened. I'm grateful for the really hard lessons and things I've had to go through to know those lessons now. I look at solo backpacking as inspiration. I see it as something that I continue to move through the world and take notes in my mind. I want to be completely drawn in to what I'm doing. I want to understand why things are happening, what my impact is in the world, how I can just be a better person in the world. And I don't want to shut off. I don't want to imagine things like things are just happening to me. Like, I'm taking everything with consideration. Again, this is me fresh from solo backpacking, right? So I still have so many like ideas, and I'm still processing a lot of the things that happened, especially the last couple months. I was not solo for probably like the last 2 months of my solo backpacking journey throughout Latin America, and that also taught me a lot about traveling with people, being in partnership with people, and how I show up as a partner. I want to be chosen as a partner, and I could make a whole other video for that because I'm feeling really inspired. When I look at everything with such respect and grace and gratitude for what happened, nothing went wrong. Nothing went wrong. However, I'm changed forever. I grew from the experience easily. This is just the past 5 months, but if I look at everything from a zoomed out perspective, right, like the past 2.5 years, like, damn, like I need to be like more proud of myself. I don't know. I would love to hear more video ideas and things that you want to see on my channel, because I want to start posting more on YouTube. I like talking to the camera, and I want to share with you guys my ideas and perspectives in a way that is not on TikTok. So that's like, is that growth? Yeah, that's definitely growth. But